Well, I hope we've all caught our breath after the 2-2 of the Etihad. Arsenal get back to football at the Emirates Stadium, and it's a Carabao Cup tie. All eyes on Arsenal versus Bolton. Probably a rotated 11. We're going to discuss how Arsenal might approach this and what actually Arteta's left of his squad if he's trying to rotate. I'm here with Turkish. I'm here with Robbie. It's the Carabao Cup, and look, it's the annual conversation about how much this competition matters and how important it is. But I think on the back of what's been a really tricky set of away games, and actually a load of performances I think we can take a lot of pride from, we want to now start to build some goal scoring momentum and get some good football underway at the Emirates.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's going to be really interesting to see what sort of team Mikel Arteta goes with, because one of the things that he has been accused of, as great as we started this season, is a lack of trophies. You know what I mean? Yep. It's like, well, yeah, we pushed really close, runners up over the past couple of seasons in the league, but you still haven't really won a trophy since winning the FA Cup. So will he take these competitions more seriously? And I kind of think he might do, but then after the games we've just had, I don't think he'll go quite as strong as he may have done. And these games can be tricky because what it is now with these games is a team knows they could just make it, they could just draw. They could just go and put everybody behind the ball, get a draw, and then it goes to penalties. Then it's anybody's. So you really got to go out there and make sure you win that game thoroughly in 90 minutes. Get like a couple of goals. Not even like be a 1-0 up where a team can come at the end and just throw everything at you and go for broke and hopefully take it to penalties. So they're not the easiest games always to negotiate, but I think it's going to be, after the hard run of games we've had, it's going to be good to have this game and get some players who haven't really figured a chance to really play right from the beginning. Yeah,
absolutely. Turkish, you're not one who actually rates this competition much, but do you feel any pressure on Arsenal and Arteta to start lifting silverware and ultimately, whatever you think of this competition, it does change the narrative around Arsenal a little bit if we are to win it and do well in it?
No, the narrative wouldn't change.
You don't think it would
the problem
at all?
with the League Cup, in my opinion. Listen, it's a nice cup. It comes midway through the season. It's maybe the starter to the main course come May, hopefully. And when you couple it up with other trophies, it becomes a lot more special because you've either done a double in a sense, or you domestic and all this stuff you can do with it. But alone, it's something that, over my young years in the 90s and early 2000s, Wenger, Ferguson, the top managers around that time in the league, they'd use it as a chance to bring in youth, bring in the players on the fringes. And that was the exciting element of it. It's not like at that, even now, I'm excited about this Wednesday, but I'm going to get into why and the similarities to then, because back then we had a team challenging. I knew the league was the main course. I knew hopefully success in Europe could be the main course. FA Cup, we know our history in that, let alone through that special period between 98 and 05. I just think that, now we've got back to that level of challenging again, expecting the Premier League, expecting a major trophy. Major's the key here. I think the League Cup has now become, again, through the young players coming through. We saw pre-season, forgetting Ranieri for a sec because we've seen him a couple of times over the years. Lewis Skelly has stepped it up. This summer, Heaven started a few games in pre-season. Unfortunately, Setford's injured, but he's a keeper that comes in with high praise. So this is the competition. I'm excited to see the youngsters, but at the same time, that doesn't mean I expect to lose the game. I think Bolton at home, it's got some Premier League heritage about it. I mean, there's been classics.
We have had some classics in Bolton.
There has been.
The Rob Holding derby.
Once upon a time, right, this would be a very, very
tricky one. This is a bogey team.
I remember them days, man, when we used to go to Bolton, Sam Allardyce, those were some
Kevin
tough
Nolan,
games.
Kevin
Nolan,
Kocha,
you know what I mean? Those were
Anelka at one point.
Anelka did with
who was the guy they used to have up front? Used to play for Bolton.
El Hadji.
No, the one with the big head.
Nolan and Davies, no?
Davies. Yeah. And they used to be big physical team, always bully us up. Obviously a lot has changed now. They're not, but I do remember those days going to their ground, and sometimes having some very miserable times there, and it used to be a great fixture. So, but this is a lot different. They've since them times they've really sort of dropped down the leagues and stuff like that. They did get promotion last season, didn't they? But you know, you'd expect this is a game where Arsenal can, like Turkish says, can rotate players. And the League Cup is a weird one because on the one hand, I completely agree with Turkish and say it's a competition that do the big teams really take it serious? But then you can look at it and say it's a competition that's saved certain managers like Ten Hag. That League Cup win has saved him, really. You know what I mean? There's, you know, you're able to say, oh, you know, even last year Liverpool, they kind of fell away, didn't they, in the league?
You're right. They had an appalling title running.
Yeah,
but because they won the Carabao
But because they won, their fans pointed to the fact that, well, we won a trophy. So I do think Arteta should take this, you know, in the context of what the run of games he's just had. But I do think he should try and take this quite serious and try and see if he can try and win it.
He can find a good mix in the fringe players we have at the moment.
Well, let's try and answer that then. So let's build an 11. I mean, really interesting context around this is Neto, the player on loan from Wolves, who's meant to be our backup goalkeeper as cup tie because he
That's
played.
Crazy.
I mean,
That's crazy.
Just like, it's like the one thing we wanted him for. And Setford apparently has an injury, that's why he's not been travelling the squad. He is the third choice goalkeeper confirmed by the team photo. Look, they either go with Nygaard, the 18-year-old they brought in for the academy, or they go with, and there was another academy, Porter or something, I think another academy goalkeeper. Was he a goalkeeper? I'm not sure. Someone was on the bench for the Atalanta game. Or you go David Raya.
It's Raya's going to be in goal.
It's going to be David Raya, isn't it?
And you know, the man's just had like a tough game at City.
But he was limping
left
in the
with
tunnel.
a bandage on his leg and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it looked more like a cut, didn't it?
You're right, it did.
But I think Raya will start. I mean, it's the good thing about it is still early in the season, and goalkeepers don't get knackered out in the same way, I guess. But then we want to keep him injury free because he's so important at the moment. But he's got to surely play, hasn't he?
I think, well, with the options we've got, unless Setford sort of is fine.
That would be the key, yeah.
It's looking like it's going to be Raya. Okay, so let's build a back four. And you know what? Every position, like the goalkeeper one, continues to be interesting because we are stacked in defence, but Zinchenko is missing. But you know, how many of these regulars want to play? You know, Timber did just go off injured. We know that Ben White had a knee issue, which is why he didn't start the Man City game.
Calafiori came off. You know what I mean?
You're
like
right.
cramped up. You know what I mean? Like Timber came off, cramped up.
I have a feeling he's going to have to play people he doesn't really want to play.
That's what I think.
Probably.
Yeah.
So okay, let's build. I think the obvious one is Lewis Skelly will start left back.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, and I think he must really trust this kid, right? Because he was on a yellow card before he even got on the pitch.
Yeah, that's true, you know.
You're right.
City, and I said when he got that yellow card, right, I turned around to Cecil, and I go, Cecil, that's one player ain't coming on then.
Yeah.
Right? Because I go, the youngster booked, he ain't coming on. And he came on. Yeah. So for him to trust him, to bring him on, when he's already on the yellow card before he's even hit the pitch, I mean, I thought that was a real show of trust. So I'd expect him to start. Definitely Lewis Skelly.
He's shown a lot of quality as well.
Yeah, we're saying Forever Arsenal that's probably the reason Arteta did bring him on, was he just loved the attitude. Picked up a yellow before your debut. Go on then. Let's get you on the pitch.
Yeah, but all it would have meant though, if he came on, is like one bad tackle or something, you're gone.
I know.
You know, so he showed a lot of faith in him. But Skelly.
You've liked Lewis Skelly a lot in pre-season. He's stood out for you.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Arteta's done well with him because I think positionally he's a midfielder first and foremost, but obviously this new, you know, inverting thing over the last few years with Mikel, I think he's found a nice home for him from what we saw in pre-season, which is still not a lot to go by, but technically he looks good. He knows how to protect the ball well. He knows how to, you know, string together a few passes, move well. He looks like a good player, and for Mikel to put him on, you know, in such a game with a yellow card, forget the yellow card for in that game.
Yeah.
When Ranieri came on 1-0 up against Spurs, I was like, this is brave.
Yeah.
So was this move as well. So I think
was.
as much as Ranieri's taken the shine over the last couple of years in terms of the next up, I think slowly but surely Lewis Skelly seems to be, you know, settling in.
Totally agree. So let's put the rest of the back four. I'm just going to come out with mine quickly. I think Calafiori will start centre back. He's not played that much football. With Kivior and probably Ben White.
I'd like that. It obviously depends on Ben White. Like you said, he was a little knock, or he didn't start the game, which was really weird to not see him start a game for Arsenal under Arteta. But if he's fit, I guess, Timber looked spent. You know, he's had some tough games. Remember, the guy's still coming off of this long-term injury. I'd love to see that Calafiori-Kivior partnership. Yeah, why not?
When is Tomiyasu
I wouldn't
back?
mind seeing that. No,
He
Tomiyasu.
was meant to only miss pre-season.
What about what's happening with Zinchenko as well? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's a good job we bought all these defenders. I'll tell you
No,
that.
it is. Like Kivior, people thought, what's the need for Kivior? But there's absolutely a need for Kivior.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're talking about Saliba starting. So
And I still could see one of those, Saliba or Gabriel, starting this game. I can still see it.
Because Kivior, Calafiori, I don't see many left-footed centre-backs play together.
But he's always played Kivior right centre-back. He's been happy to do that.
Yeah. Or do you put Lewis Skelly right back because he inverts anyway, and then you have Kivior come to a back three from left back like he done last season?
You could do that.
It's so, in fact, we're light in this area now when you really consider the injuries.
Too many injuries.
So do we agree that's probably the back four then?
Yeah,
Lewis Skelly, Calafiori, Kivior, one.
Yeah, that's a decent back four.
Okay, let's make a midfield three then. Who wants to put
Jorginho, first start of the season.
Jorginho's in there.
Yeah.
He's a coach now. We're giving him a contract to be able
Actually, it wouldn't be his first start, would it? No.
No, he started at Tottenham.
Tottenham, sorry.
So Jorginho, but again, we're a bit light in that midfield.
I'll do Jorginho, Salah and Ranieri. That'll be on my midfield three. Salah the 8,
I think
Ranieri the 10.
maybe Jorginho,
That's mine.
Partey and...
Partey, another start.
Yeah, because it doesn't seem to be any fitness issues. He started every game. He played every game of pre-season. And we're light in that area. And I do think you have to tighten up that. That's the one area. I mean, and then maybe later on you can bring on a Saladin. With Ranieri, I'd go those three.
I think it's going to be yours. Jorginho, Saladin and one area.
Yeah. I'd protect Partey.
I'd actually sooner play Rice over Partey just because he actually had the break for the Tottenham game.
Yeah, true.
Oh, yeah.
But that will be interesting to see. In the front three, I think there's two positions in Jesus and Sterling that we surely really expect them both to get starts.
Sterling, I want to... I mean, as again, Martinelli with the amount of running he done in that City game, man, he needs a rest. Right, so bring Sterling in from the start. Perfect game for him to get himself fully fit and start. Definitely... Again, Havertz was another one who he could barely walk at the end of the game. So, Jesus definitely. But then that right-hand side, not going to play Saka, eh?
Well, I suggested for Arsenal that he might. I mean, I wouldn't.
He did only play a half.
That's what I'm saying. He might go, listen, give me another hour.
Yeah.
Saka, I wouldn't.
Yeah, somebody's... he
came off against Tottenham as well. He came off against Atalanta.
No disrespect to the Bolton players, but some of the more industrial tackles and things like that.
Yeah.
I saw a game, was it Brighton, where they had a guy making a debut. Did you see? And the tackle... I forget which team they was playing, a League One team, and the tackle that put in, he's been out since. That player that Brighton signed from Scotland, from Celtic.
Oh, yeah, the first.
And that tackle, man, I think they were playing Crawley or something. That tackle was horrendous. So, do you risk...
Mad, isn't it? You have to risk Saka or Havertz, that's the thing. You either put Havertz up top, Jesus right, Sterling left, or you...
Who else is up front we could play?
Trossard's band.
Oh yeah, Trossard's banned. Oh yeah.
Cancel Nelson's loan.
Yeah, he scored 2 and 2.
Who are our options? Sorry, it's Saka, Sterling, Havertz, Jesus, Trossard, Martinelli. Those are your players. Okay, I think he's going to play Jesus on the right, Sterling on the left, and he'll start Havertz.
I think that's what it'll be.
I think I know, I agree. It's crazy, but I think the reason he'll do that is because he's got an engine on him. He's not particularly injury prone, touch wood. But also, I think and again, obviously we don't hope this, but if something were to happen to Havertz, we have solutions. Like we could play the game on Saturday with Jesus up front if we wanted to rest him then, and get Saka back in the team, or Trossard false 9. Like we can do more with the striker position than we can with Saka's position. And if Trossard's ban was just in the Premier League, so he was missing the Premier League game, then you could play Trossard on the left and go, listen, you can start this game. But that's obviously not where we are. So.
I think I'd rather what you said there with Havertz down the middle, Jesus right, Sterling left.
Yeah, that's my
rather than having to play Saka. Same. I think I'm always saying about I don't want him rested, right? But I think this is the one game that you can rest him for. You know what I mean? Because you can, they've got the game at the weekend. It's a big game.
Should be able, yeah.
So you want him fresh for that. So you have these guys on the bench anyway. If you ain't going to plan, you can bring them off. So
yeah, or actually, Let me throw in, a last-minute surprise one. It could be Cabia starting right wing. Cabia is the academy prospect, 18 years old.
Arteta's done things like that before.
Yeah, like
Sago Jr.
Yeah, Sago Jr. for example, last season in the Cup. So actually, that might well be what he does. And I remember, especially because actually there's quite a lot of experience in that front three. So it's just popped into my mind now. There's a guy I follow who's a fantastic, and I've had him on my channel before. He's a really top football scout, and he was talking about sort of academy prospects, and Cabia was one he put up there with Waneri and Lewis Skelly. Not maybe in terms of quality, but just that he was excited about. He mentioned him, and he's a apparently Sterling type profile out on the wing, which Arteta's liked over the years. So that it could be Cabia, Jesus.
Coming up again, I think the only one thing we've got to be careful of is these teams like Bolton. There'll be a streetwise type team. They're going to be pumped for this game. It's a massive, massive game, probably the biggest game they've played in years because, they've been out of the limelight. So they're going to go for it. They just, do we want, yes, I want to see some of the youngsters bloody, but you can't overdo it.
No, you're right.
You can't disrespect these teams,
Yeah.
Or,
All right. So that's the 11 we think, with Havertz down the middle, Jesus and Sterling as the front three. Salah-Eddin, we outvoted 2-1. Salah-Eddin in there with Jorginho and Waneri, but a back four we agreed on Calafiori, Kivior centre back with White and Lewis Skelly left back, and probably Raya starting as well. Should we get a score prediction from Robbie?
Yeah, I think we'll win the game. Let me go 3-0.
3-0. I went 3-1.
4-0.
4-0. Okay, there we go. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Everyone, if you enjoyed this preview, please do hit the like button. Let us know your thoughts around the game in the comment section below. Remember, there will be a watch along at this table here on AFTV, reacting to every kick of a ball, fan cams after, Forever Arsenal to follow after that, and all the reaction throughout the week with an Invincibles podcast and build up through to the game on Saturday against Leicester, right?
Yep.
Leicester. Right, there we go. Everyone, hope you enjoyed it. See you very soon.